order. So this is the order that's going to be in place until they get the real deal, till they have their hearing. Remember, guys, I told you these things get signed off like that, like that. They don't even look. All right, let me just sign. I'm gonna just sign it. It was filed at 3:39. Well, you will see what happens because there's a timeline with it. There's a timeline with everything. All right, so on 6/9/2023, Sammy filed for a temporary ex parte protective order that was presented to the court. The court have examined the pleadings and all the allegations of applicant, finds that applicant's sworn pleadings and allegations show the applicant is entitled to a temporary ex parte protective order. Now, according to XQC, she called him over there, but that's neither here nor there. They were alone, her word against his. She filed first. It is what it is. Applicant and Adept and XQC have a dating relationship as defined in section this. So he clapped her cheeks for 2 years or whatever that definition says. I didn't look it up, but it's cheek clapping, cohabitation. The court finds that there is a clear and present danger of family violence, unless XQC is ordered to do or refrain from doing certain acts as shown below. This is how it works. And you typically see this with people with kids. As soon as they separate, protection order. That way they get the kids. They get more custody. They get more child support. They get more alimony. They get the house. They literally go to the George, $16, and now they can kick your ass out your house. And you're like, I didn't even say nothing. Or you can be like, all I did was raise my voice. Yeah, it made the person feel threatened. Protected person, like we went over all of this stuff. What a protected person is. It's adept, but there's about to be some new language introduced. This is where you like, hey, can he go to jail? I'm like, absolutely he can. We know about the 350 feet. We know he can't sell anything. You better hold on to that goddamn McLaren. Okay, no firearms. Prohibited from interfering with the applicant's use of the residence. So no shutting off the utilities once again. No posting on social media. All that good stuff. But we got new language. All right, here we go. Here's the new language. It is further ordered that the sheriff's department is ordered to provide a law enforcement officer from their department to accompany her to the residence to inform XQC that the court has ordered him to get out of his house that he purchased, to protect her while she takes her possessions of the residence, and to protect her if XQC refuses to leave the house in which he purchased, okay, while she is there to take her possessions of the applicant's necessary personal property. All right, so we need that cop to kick his ass out just in case he don't want to leave. This is real. This is family law 101. This is standard. I'm shocked it didn't happen a while ago. But this is the first time they've been interacting with each other, and this is the first opportunity it probably had to happen. These temporary ex parte protective orders shall be effective immediately and binding on XQC and shall continue in full force and effect for 20 days for the date this order is signed, unless terminated sooner by the court. So for 20 days to remove how much stuff, guys? 20 days to remove how much stuff? It is further ordered that the clerk shall issue notice, which I have a copy of, to XQC to appear, and her order to appear in person before the court in the courthouse on June 21st at 1:30 p.m. So June 21st. Will he go? I don't know if he'll go to the courthouse. I don't even know if she'll go to the courthouse. They'll probably just send his lawyer, man. This shit is draining. Now, the purpose of this hearing is to determine whether the court should issue the protective order. So the temporary is in off rip. You're like, it's in off rip. I'm going to show you why it's in off rip, because judges don't play with this stuff. It gets granted almost instantly, guys. Almost instantly. No, hey. We're gonna grant the temporary one instantly, and should the hearing prove otherwise, then we'll eliminate the temporary order. But this is how it works in America. Welcome to America. I know a lot of people over there in UK watching. You're like, this wouldn't happen in UK. Well, we're not in UK. Well, this wouldn't happen in Canada. We're not in Canada. We're not in Kansas anymore, guys. We're in Texas. Nothing but steers and you know the rest. All right, so they're going to have the hearing. to figure out all this stuff. So she's going to get the house for 20 days. But the big thing in here, right, is requiring XQC to complete a battering intervention and prevention program or counseling provided by section of this. So on this day, they're going to establish if he needs to go to battering and intervention and prevention program or counseling. This is the crazy part. Also, awarding applicant exclusive use of the house. That's right. She got it for 20 days, which is easy. Is she staying there? Probably not.
Nope.
Is he staying there?
Nope.
He can't. He can't if he wanted to. So he paid $1 million for a house that he can't even stay in if he wants to, that he can't even change the passwords on his utilities if he wants to. Remember that, hey, I tried to get my utilities changed? What else are we establishing? They're going to prohibit this shit right away. Now, the judge may eliminate this battering, but everything else, for the most part, the things that are in question for me is these two right here. Will he have to go to therapy? And will she get exclusive use of the house? I cannot foresee the judge awarding her the house. I can't see it. But that's not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying we know it's his house. We know she's not staying there. Get her out of it. And that's what the temporary order, the motion for a temporary summary judgment was for, was the house. He goes to Texas, all his shit comes up. Now he can't get the house. It's chess, not checkers. Now here we're about to get to the jail part. You're also going to hear about the fees. All right. Y'all like, remember I said he can go to jail. People are like, you're lying. You're clickbaiting us. You're doing this. You're doing that. I am not. I would never clickbait you guys. When I said he may go to jail, absolutely. If he call her, he's going to go to jail. And what happens is you get worked up. You call. You say something. She records it. She says, hey, we had this protective order on this date. He broke the protective order. He called me. This why I'm telling you, shit's all bad. So a person who violates this order may be punished for contempt of court by a fine as much as $500 or confinement in jail for as long as 6 months. Now, let's go down a rabbit hole. What happens if he actually breaks this order accidentally or intentionally? We saw it happen to Tory Lanez. He just happened to be in the same spot. They put his ass in jail for a little bit, then he got out. Let's keep going. No person, including a person who was protected by this order, may give permission to anyone to ignore or violate any provision of this order during the time in which this order is made valid. Every provision of this order is in full force and effect unless a court changes the order. Let's keep scrolling. This talks about peace officers. Have to be, full-time paid employee of the state. This talks about if he actually violates the court order, what happens to him. If a person subject to a protective order is released from confinement or imprisonment following the date that the order would have expired, or if the order would have expired not later than the first anniversary of the date the person is released from confinement or imprisonment, the order is automatically extended. Automatically. He breaks this, he goes to jail, it gets extended. Now they're about to break down for how long. This is all Texas law. The first anniversary of the date the person is released, if the person was sentenced to confinement or imprisonment for a term of more than 5 years. Okay? So if he's in jail for 5 years, which that's not going to happen, it gets extended to the first anniversary of the person being released. You see how it works? You go to jail in 2023, you do 5 years, you get out in 2028, this shit's still in order till 2029. Just breaking it down for you. All right, the second one. Now, it's the second anniversary of the date the person is released if the person was sentenced to confinement or imprisonment for a term of 5 years or less. So remember, that's 6 months. Okay, so he goes in for 6 months. Guess what? He comes out. This shit is in place for 2 years. We have to make sure that does not happen. We do not want to see him in jail over this at all. So, violation of this order by commission of an act prohibited by the order may be punishable by a fine of as much as $4,000 or by confinement in jail for as long as 1 year. God damn. Oh gosh, you pay someone, you do anything, you go into jail for a year. The act that results in family violence may be prosecuted as a separate misdemeanor or felony offense. Guys, and guess what? It's already signed by the judge. This is not a game. This is not a game. It took them 2 hours to get this signature. 2 hours. Now, this signature only guarantees that she gets the house for 20 days, she gets the police escort, and the court date of the 21st. Okay? And yes, stop putting crazy stuff in the chat. You think her mods ain't watching, you think they're not clipping this stuff. I keep telling you, judges have to sign this stuff. They can't just ignore it, because if they, God forbid, they ignore it and something actually happens to her, then it falls on the judge. Let's keep going. Now, this part is, now this is doxing. This is how you dox someone without doxing someone. You say, hey, I need to prevent all of my information, and then you put all of his information in here. All of his information is in the court docs. But she listed my guy as 6'2", 130 pounds. What? Hey, someone need to tell him to get his weight up. My man needs to get his weight up. All right, guys, tell him hit the gym. Tell him hit the goddamn gym. Okay? Now look, see this part right here? It was filed at 1:53. 1:53, it hits the courts. What time did the judge sign off on the order? 3:22. 1:53, 3:22. What's that? About an hour and a half? Exactly. Hour and 29 minutes. Just that quick. How much did it cost? $16 and a convincing story. $16, convincing story. Let's kick him out of his house. Let's ruffle some feathers in his life. Let's have him on stream sad. Let's have him getting up out of here, saying he needs to go away for a week. And that is crazy. Now, let's talk about if the allegations are false.
You are not a victim here. You have never been a victim here.